Welcome to the Chronic Health Collector Show, where we empower you to transform every area of your life. We gathered the best coaches and experts around the world to bring you weekly insights that's going to elevate your physical, your mental, and of course, your spiritual well-being. Whether you're looking to boost your energy, heal your relationships, or live a more productive, balanced life, we're here to guide you every step of the way. I'm Andy Nam. I'm the host tonight, and joining me is my dear friend and my own personal life coach, Erin Lay.
Hello.
Hey, Erin. So Erin's my life coach, and Erin Lay is a global leading life coach and business strategist with 30 plus years of experience. She's a multiple #1 best-selling author. She's, of course, an award-winning speaker and host of the Life on Track TV show. She is the founder of the Life on Track coaching agency, which, like I said, I'm part of now. I'm so excited. And it empowers coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs to reach six-figure success while making a positive impact. Known as the coach to the coaches, Erin Lay's agency provides life coach certification, advanced training and coaching, speaking, and of course, business development, with exclusive speaking opportunities on her virtual and her in-person stages. Affectionately called the Miracle Maker, Erin's resilience as a cancer thriver and successful entrepreneur inspires her philosophy: celebrate life, and you have a life worth celebrating. So amazing to have you on the show today, Erin.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you, Andy. You're amazing.
No, we just had one of your Life on Track events, and it was amazing. And today, I think we can share some of the tips, some of your wisdom towards that. So, I want to start off we're kicking off March, and March, we want to center more on our self-image and vision moving forward, because you always hear, everyone does a New Year's resolution in January, and then by March they give up on it, right? So I want to speak into that a little bit more as to how you can help people not only continue on the vision, but how to even clarify that vision.
I love that question. Absolutely love that question. And you're right. People start in January. They think it's the beginning of the year. They have all these great intentions, and then halfway through January, they don't even get to March, they're done because they haven't worked on their self-image to be able to maintain that momentum. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to grow it. But March is such an amazing month, besides my birthday. My birthday is March 9th. But March is like the beginning of spring, and it's planting seeds and it's rebirth and new beginnings. And it's so exciting. And when you have a crystal clear vision of exactly what you want, it's so important to know exactly what you want in life, right? And then you plant seeds. Every day you just get up and you plant seeds in the direction of that North Star. And before you know it, the harvest comes. It's beautiful.
I love it. I love it. Can you dive a little bit deeper in, like for the people that's in professional development, taking a lot of self-improvement? Of course, we understand the importance of the self-image and your analogy about planting seeds, because a lot of people understand it's like March, you plant seeds and for the garden. Can you dive a little deeper on that so our audience can understand, how that all works in life?
Absolutely. Okay. Let me share stories, to best illustrate what I'm talking about. So a couple of clients. I had one client years ago, his self-image was stuck. He was laid off it was before the pandemic. He was laid off from work. with a mortgage, 4 kids, a wife, family and everything. And he was beside himself. And he lives in Idaho. I'm in New York. So we were coaching over the phone. And he's a financial advisor for a credit union. And I have permission to tell this story because he actually flew to New York to tell it from my stage. Wow. So, I had to help him with his self-image because it was stuck at not good enough, can't do it. He had a terrible self-image. So in order to grow, I told him also he could start his own business. He didn't have to wait to go get another job. He just wanted to make $7,000 a year. And I was like, you can make so much more than $7,000 a year, right? But we had to stretch his self-image. So we worked on that first, and we broke down the paradigms and the self-limiting beliefs and the self-doubt and all that fear that holds people back. And slowly but surely, he started to replace it with better ones. Instead of I can't, I can. Instead of the disempowering thinking, started to think empowering thoughts, asking himself empowering questions as he's planting seeds. So that's what he started doing. He started planting seeds to build his own business. And like I said, he just wanted to make $7,000 a year. And so initially it was like 2,000, then 5,000, then 10,000, then 15, 20, 25, 30. Within 2 years, and this is not a financial disclaimer of what I can do for everybody, I'm sharing a story of by stretching his self-image professionally, he had his first $80,000 month, in August, right? Within 2 years. And then he flew in October of 2022 to share that story with everybody, at my event. So that's one story about, another client of mine has patents, and with gloves for kids, and it's absolutely amazing. And she sells them on Amazon, and they're so good, so good. And she wanted to scale her business, but they were stuck at $1 million every year, a little over $1 million every year, with what they were making. And so again, we can never outperform our self-image ever. So we stretched her self-image and broke down the not worthy, right? Not worthy. A lot of us going around from birth to 8, we took on parents, teachers, all these people that are like, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're not good enough for that, and not worthy. Once we broke that down, all of these other companies that she tried to get into for 15 years started coming to her, so, wow. Oh my God, just amazing. Like she wasn't even going looking for them, and they started coming to her 15 years later. And so, you can grow professionally in the most amazing ways. It's not just about, time blocking and having, the perfect 30-minute meeting, keeping it at 30 minutes. Sometimes you need 35. Time management is a whole different subject, but it's not about moving file cabinets or, it's just more importantly, getting into the subconscious mind, breaking down those self-limiting beliefs, and then you just grow exponentially, professionally and personally in every way.
I love that. And, that is part of your program to help people have that millionaire mindset, because a lot of people think that, well, she's just helping people become millionaires. And like you said, we're not promising anything in that aspect, but we are helping people break through the barriers that's preventing them to improve on their business, improve on the finances and everything else. And it's interesting, you're telling me on the first story, he was a financial advisor. He was actually telling people how to invest, and yet he himself wasn't up-leveling in money, which is interesting, right? Because you think financial advisors, they must have their shit together, right?
No,
if you're telling me how to invest, you must know what you're doing, right? So that's an amazing story,
But he's brilliant at what he does. That's his zone of genius, is helping other people. But with him, you know what it is with each one of us, it's like trying to look at the back of our head. We can't see the paradigm. A paradigm is a cluster of beliefs and habits stored in the subconscious mind. We can't see it. I remember years ago, I was at a friend's house, Sharon Lecter, in Scottsdale, and Sharon co-authored the whole Rich Dad Poor Dad series with Robert Kiyosaki, and then she went over to Napoleon Hill and has annotated so many books over there. Amazing woman. So I'm at her house, and we're going over my business model. And this was years ago. And I had everything, I had the coaching, I had the course, I had my in-person events, my virtual events, I had like everything. So at the end, after 4 hours, just focused on going over my business model, she said, you have a multi-million-dollar business model. You just need to turn up the engine. So in other words, I had everything. I just had marketing, just turn up the engine. my reaction, because my self-image was stuck at $999,999.99, easy. Million. The moment somebody said million, I was like, oh my God. So I went home and worked on breaking that paradigm down, because I kept saying to her, that's for the men in my world. I'm a single mom. I can't imagine the work that's got to go into that. You know, the paradigm was coming through. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my mouth. Be very, very aware of the words that you're speaking, and that's a huge clue in what you need to work on. So all of that self-limiting beliefs that was coming out of my mouth, I went home and I started meditating. And within the first 17 seconds of waking up, on millionaire mindset meditation, billionaire mindset meditation. And within a year, a friend of mine came to me with an invention idea. And right now we have a patent portfolio that's valued at 8 figures. 8 figures, and we're growing it out to sell, you know, in an early stage technology company. It's absolutely incredible what happens when you break down the paradigm, but it's not just about money. You know, money's a great form of energy and an exchange of energy. It's about health. And you heard him say, I had cancer and I kept living every time they said I'd die. And I went on to have 3 kids that they swore would never happen, because I learned all about this. And then I was on fire to empower cancer patients. So this is not just only about money. It's about health. It's about relationships, spirituality. You want to get closer to God or the universe, source, whatever you call it. You know, it's about all of it.
Well, you know, over the event, we're talking about our limiting beliefs on our self-image. Can you give us some, you know, some examples of, you know, where these blocks came from? Because this is a paradigm. We don't even know ourselves, you know, what's blocking, what's giving us our limiting beliefs. You know, why is our self-image so pushed down, even though you think you deserve it, but you can't pass that? Like, what is causing these self-limiting beliefs?
It's fascinating. And I learned about this in 1991, all of this. I did a deep dive. I was like Rhonda Byrne from the beginning of the movie The Secret, only it was 1991. That movie came out in 2006. And I was like, this is amazing. Everybody's going to know about this now. But the self-limiting beliefs, it comes from, first of all, it's passed down generation to generation, right? Ancestral, like that reptilian part of the brain, it's just wired within us somehow. That's part of it, right? So that's just learned from generations. The biggest part is from birth to 8 years old, right? Because we come in, we're like just like you know, an open funnel for the subconscious mind. Not much conscious going on between birth and 8, mostly subconscious, right? So we're listening to what our parents are saying, our teachers are saying, our friends are saying, extended family, and we take it on as truth. Our places of worship, you know. So if we have family members who mean really well and they love us, but they're trying to keep us safe, and they say, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that, you know, or maybe they're having a bad day and they're like, what are you thinking? What's wrong with you? You know, or you want to be able to do something and they don't think that you can because you're 5, but you can, you know, but they don't think you can. And so they tell you you can't. So that's why people say, you know, the terrible twos. The terrible twos is a mirror of what they went through the first year of their life. Hearing no, don't touch that socket. No, don't run into the street. No, don't go up the stairs. No. And then the twos, when they're able to start verbalizing, they think that their response should be no to everything. And then they're labeled terrible twos, you know? So we take on these self-limiting beliefs and the self-doubt between birth and 8. And then we live it out for a lifetime because that becomes our way of life. It's our subconscious mind. Most people on the planet, they live out literally their day, every day, 5% conscious, aware, awake, and then 95% subconscious, where you're just getting up, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, going to work, you know, coming home, watching TV after dinner, the same thing day after day without thinking. There's not much thinking going on. So it's all subconscious, but they're living out all of those self-limiting beliefs. And it's so sad for a lifetime when you can rewire and reprogram the subconscious mind to go live your best life. Go live your best life. You can be, do, and have anything because you're a conscious creator. When you become aware of that and you choose to become that as opposed to creating by default.
Correct. That is amazing because it is so true. It's like, you know, what you're basically saying is as we're growing up, all the no's, all the you can't do this, you can't do that, all the beliefs, they're somebody else's beliefs. They weren't your own.
Right. I love
Right?
that. Great point.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So give them back.
Exactly. But you know, the thing that is amazing what you said there is 5%. Like when we're going through life, we are only conscious 5% of the
Yeah.
time. So there's only 5% we are consciously trying to do something. Okay, maybe today I want a coffee. That is part of your 5% decision of the day. But 95% you're on autopilot because you don't know what possibilities you actually have.
Right.
Because you're not expanding that. And that's where you can help them.
And can I just give a couple of tricks and tips that they could do?
Yeah. Let's have a quick trick. You know,
That's
we're gonna have a quick commercial.
Yes, really quick. That's right. Yeah, like if you're a righty in the morning, write something with your left hand. You know, brush your teeth with the opposite hand. Go a different direction to work because this forces your mind to have to literally wake up and pay attention, and it snaps you out of that. So that's just a couple little things they can do.
I love that. You know, me and Minna, we do that all the time. It's like, you know, sometimes I use my chopsticks with my left hand and stuff like that. That is a great way just to rewire the brain, right? And then it just makes you look for new opportunities too.
Yes. I love
that. That
it.
is so great. I love that. Well, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, I want to dive into planting seeds a little bit more and why is that so important for creating lasting success?
Yes.
We'll be right back.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. The energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science. At longevity. At exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
Are you struggling to communicate effectively or lead with clarity? At Bambushu Coaching, Vince, a certified peace specialist and brain health trainer, offers solutions tailored to your needs. Whether it's developing better leadership skills, improving communication, or fostering peace in stressful environments, Vince has the tools to help you thrive. Through personalized coaching and training, Vince helps you tap into your strengths, reduce stress, and communicate with confidence. The result: stronger leadership, clearer communication, and more peaceful, productive environments. Ready to lead with clarity and peace? Connect with Vince at Bambushu Coaching today.
Welcome back to Chronic Health Collective Show. In the first segment, we're talking a little bit about, you know, self-limiting beliefs and your self-image. In this segment, I want to dive a little deeper. I want to dive into the daily habits, you know, the planting the seeds, and why you believe authenticity is so important for success. Because, like, you know, you always hear a lot of people say, oh, you fake it till you make it, you know. So I want to dive into that a little bit. But let's start back with the planting of the seeds. Like, how does that create lasting success?
It's everything. And let me just say really quick, Andy, you are, because I just saw the commercial for LifeWave. You are an amazing longevity coach, you know, longevity and functional nutrition coach. Absolutely amazing. And you turned me on to those LifeWave patches, and I love them. I love them. So thank you for the work you do. You're a light worker in this world and just making people's lives so much healthier and better. And then when you have your health, everything else falls into place. So that being said, planting.
I love that. Thank you so much for that.
Yes. Planting seeds. Okay. So if we're not planting seeds, meaning like you getting up and you're sending an email or making a phone call or doing something in the direction of your North Star. First, you need to put together a crystal clear vision of exactly what you want, right? That is your North Star. And if you don't know what that is, just for today, what is it that you'd like to accomplish? That you put off, that you're like, I never thought that I could do this, or, just flip the switch. What if you could, and then just write that down. All the things that you would like to do, write it down. Okay. So that becomes your vision, and give it a date, right? Because then it's a goal. And then every day plant seeds with regard to that vision, with regard to those goals, those things that you want to accomplish in life. And again, planting seeds could just be a phone call for the day. It could be, taking a walk out in nature just for the inspiration to come, for the ideas to come. And of course we have to nurture those seeds. We have to like water them and love them and nurture them. And that means doing daily affirmations. I am going to accomplish, or as if it already has happened. Okay. Yeah. With the I am, it's like, I'm so happy and grateful now that this has happened. Right. Or I feel so happy and grateful now that this has happened. I'm speaking of so much about how much I love doing what it is that I just accomplished. And that's called the law of assumption. And I love the law of assumption. Neville Goddard's huge in the law of assumption. And the law of assumption is when you have a vision and you close your eyes, and in your mind's eye, you're visualizing what it is that you want to accomplish, right? Your North Star. And you bring it alive with all of your senses. So you smell the food on the table and the feel of the hugs and the love and the sound of the music, and everybody's celebrating the fact that you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, and it's amazing. And think big, please. Okay. Don't play small in life. Think big goals. And so you bring it alive with your senses, and the key to manifestation, the key to creating anything that you want in life is to have the feeling as if it's already happened now. So it's not, I personally, and professionally don't look at it as, pretend to go be this person or pretend to be that person. I literally am into the law of assumption, where you close your eyes and you see it as if it's already done. And so it is. And so it is at the end. Amen at the end of a prayer means, and so it is, as if it's happened already. Then you're time bending. So you're bringing the future into the present moment, as opposed to this linear 3D kind of a thing where you got to wait a long time. And I have more examples, of clients that have done that, have gotten literally time bending and gotten spiritually ahead of a lot of what they didn't think that they'd be able to, have happen very quickly. So it's really.
I love that. I love that. I want to, I want to break down a little bit what you're talking about, because, with limiting beliefs, everyone does ask the what if, right? But everyone's sort of asking the what if in a negative aspect, right? Yep. They're never thinking, well, what if this failure opens a door for something much better, right? So what you're saying is, if you're thinking what if in the future and you're living it, you are basically going to bring it about, because it's going to happen, and all the seeds you're planting is going towards that final North Star then.
Yes. I'm saying, instead of saying, what if the other shoe drops? What if I don't make it? What if I lose everything? What if, which is all disempowering. It's all fear-based. Anything that's disempowering is always fear-based, and that's the enemy. It's not. You want to get over into love, which is all empowering, that kind of a conversation. So what I'm saying with regard to what if in that way, what if it is possible? What if you're just talking yourself out of it? What if everybody that told you that you couldn't was wrong? Right. So it's an empowering, it's a way of thinking. So you're either thinking empowering thoughts or you're thinking disempowering thoughts, so, and again, empowering versus disempowering is love versus fear. So anything love-based is enthusiasm, optimism, hope, like faith and abundance, like all of that stuff. And then anything fear-based is anger, resentment, regret, remorse, shame, guilt. It's very low vibe, not who we truly are. We're not wired for that. We take it on again as children, and even through life, we take it on as adults through bosses or spouses when it's not a good fit. I read a book, and I loved one one of the things the book said, I was learning about men, right? You know, the different stages of men. And I love what it said when it said, you know how they say you got to kiss a lot of frogs, right, to meet the right man. And in the book, it says, you know, a woman can kiss a man and turn him into a frog. And it's true, you know, like it's so true. Be married to the right people. But that's fear-based. Anything negative is fear-based. And you don't want to be stuck there. So let me tell you that the bridge from fear to love, from anything like negative thinking to disempowering thinking over to the positive thinking and the power thinking is gratitude. It's gratitude. So when you're in fear and oh my God, I feel so guilty about this, guilt will never serve you. And the shame kind of stuff, start thinking about things that you're grateful for. The roof over your head, the clothes on your back, the love of your children or whatever it is, you know, your health, that you can see with your eyes, you have whatever it is, just find something to be grateful for. And before you know it, you're out of that funk of the negative thinking, and because that is the bridge. Gratitude is the key to everything. Gratitude in this life, when you're in a state of gratitude and you're in a state of joy, hence the law of assumption, because when you're in that state, you're so high vibe because you're in that state of joy that it's already happening. So when you're in gratitude and you're in joy, you will be a magnet to everything. All the people, place, and things that you need to come to you will come to you. There's no such thing as coincidences. You know, it's all serendipitous. You become a magnet, and then you don't have to know the how. You're going to get everything done because it takes care of itself. Because just by staying in that positive way of thinking and emotionalizing those thoughts with the feelings, the positive feelings, again, the how takes care of itself. And before you know it, you hit your goal and you're like, I don't even know how that happened. How did I get here? This is amazing, you know? So yes, and the bridge from fear to love is gratitude. That's a key thing for people to take away, especially when it comes to their health. You know,
correct.
It changes the vibration of the whole body, which is incredible.
So I think a lot of people, they fear many things throughout life, you know, and they fear when things go bad, and then they sort of drop down that rabbit hole. Right. And you know, you talk about the bridge from fear to love. Sometimes, you know, what are some tips to get out of it? Because, like, you know, it's easy to say, hey, look for some gratitude, but maybe you just say lost your job. And that's happening right now, right? You know, some people are losing their jobs, and, you know, whatever reason, I don't want to get political, whatever reason it may be, maybe they're working, maybe they're not, but they lost their job. In which case now you have real fear, because you know, you need money, to do work and stuff like that.
Sure.
You know, so for people that happens, with something that happened with that fear, how do you shift into abundance, into gratitude at that point? You know, like what's a mindset shift that you think would be a good tip for these people?
Okay, it's like a muscle, right? You got to work the muscle. And with the gratitude that I'm speaking of, no matter what's going on in your life, you got to work that muscle, and you have to be intentional. So at first, as you're saying out loud, and I've done this, you know, where I was in a state of fear, meaning, you know, my mother was not doing well in a rehab, and I was not happy about how she was treated, right? And I went into that anger in my mind's eye, you know, and I was there, and I knew I was there, and I'm like, that is not flow, that is not a good vibe to be in. You need to get out of that, you know, because otherwise I'll attract negative things to me, and I'm aware of this. So I knew we have to feel the feels. We live in a polar universe. So we need, it's a, you know, one side of the pole is feeling great, and the other side of the pole is feeling terrible, right? So with everything, there's up, there's down, there's in, there's out, it's a polar universe. So the point of having the negative side of that pole is so that we can appreciate the positive side, right? So, but the key to life is when we feel the feels of the negative, how fast do we bounce back to the other side? Right. So if we ruminate and we stay on the negative side, and we're ruminating there, good things are not going to happen. You, again, you'll manifest, and you'll create, you'll attract to the people, places, things that will keep you stuck there. And you're going to wonder, why did that happen? Why did this happen to me today? And why did that? I promise you, it's because you were stuck on that negative side. But when you are intentional, and that's the key, no matter what happens in life, no matter what is going on in life, you have to be intentional about finding something to be grateful for, something.
Correct.
And then because then the momentum changes and you're going in the better direction, and then abundance of happiness, an abundance of everything, then you're in that direction, as opposed to staying in the fear, lack, and scarcity of whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish. So gratitude is without a doubt the key. And again, can I give just another quick story or two?
I'd love to. I think like gratitude is so powerful, but not enough people think about it. A lot of people say, well, I don't have too many things to be grateful for. But like you said, there's so much to be grateful for, but people aren't diving in deep enough to realize all the good things that happen with their life, as while they're concentrating on all the bad things, right? So yeah, I would love to hear another story.
Okay, so if we're focused on the car that we want that's not in the garage, and you're not grateful because the car it's like, well, the car's not there, or the money's not in the bank yet. But if you're focused on the lack, you're going to stay in lack, because that's just the way this world works, but when you start to get into the gratitude, and you're like, that you're grateful and happy now that that it's there. You can't see it yet, because how you're vibrating gives off a frequency, and it's how you're resonating. So let's say, what you want is here, but you're here and you're complaining, and you're not grateful. You're not going to get this, whatever this is that you want. But when you practice the gratitude and you're intentional, and in the beginning, it's not comfortable, you got to build that muscle. And then you start to raise your vibration. The Beatles, everybody sang about good vibes, right? High vibes and all that. And that's a thing. So when you're there and you're resonating, it shows itself. It's all of it's there. Everything you want is there. You just can't see it because you're not resonating there yet. So gratitude is the key to that. Let me give you an example of one of my clients was in India, right? And he wanted to get back to the States, and he was coming back with his wife, and she had to go for this interview to get back to this country. Long story short, he was like, Erin, I'm going to be here for another few months because of the way that the government, the system, and everything else. And I just want to get back. And I said, look, you and I have worked together for a couple of years now. You know what to do. Spiritually, you can get out ahead of it. Everybody else is complaining about our government or whatever government, or, they're going to be stuck, and they're going to be in line waiting and waiting and waiting, because that's what they're expecting. And we get what we expect. I said, you need to just believe that you're going to the front of the line, and that's what you expect. By the end of the call, my hand to God, by the end of the call, and this was just a couple of weeks ago, by the end of the call, he says, Erin, my father just texted me and said, we have the interview. In the same hour, in the same call. Another one of my clients, she needed a passport. She was going to Israel. And again, I have permission to tell these stories because I asked them if I could, and they said yes. So she was going to Israel. The passport was expired. The day of, she had to drive to Connecticut from upstate, and the whole system was down. She got there. The whole system, and the place is packed. So now nobody's getting a passport, right? Because the whole system is down. So she's in Connecticut. She didn't bring her luggage, so she had to go back upstate. She knew she had to be out of there by 2:30. And she said, okay, I'm going to just do what Erin says to do, right? And she got into gratitude. And she said, if I'm meant to be on that plane, then that's what's going to happen. If I'm meant to be. So, and she just relaxed her whole body. Peace of mind, inner peace, trust, faith. There's a whole thing about faith. When you show faith, you're rewarded. And long story short, she sent her husband, and she said she had to get out of there by 2:30. She sent her husband to go home to get the luggage at 2:10 because she was just running out of time. She called him at 2:20 and said, come back. It came on, and she was the first one to be called. The first one. So I have a thousand different examples. I'm just giving a couple quick examples as an illustration of what happens when you do what you and I are talking about. You get out ahead of life. And gratitude is part of planting seeds, and it's part of nurturing what it is that you want to accomplish in life. When you're in gratitude, that's a huge part of it. And then the law of harvest comes.
I love that. I think that's so important to shift from the fear to gratitude. And in the next segment, I want to dive into a little bit about that switch, that auto switching from the negative to the positive. So I like to dive into a little bit more, but we'll be right back after the short break.
Have you ever felt stuck in your marriage, wondering if things will ever get better? Meet Samantha Kawa, the marriage coach who's helping people transform their relationships in ways they never thought possible. Having saved her own marriage twice, Samantha knows the way forward. If you're ready to rebuild trust, reconnect, and create the love you deserve, visit www.thegems.com today, because the first step to transforming your marriage starts with you.
Change is like a lightning rod. It's energy that's coming in, tremendous energy that's coming in. It's up to every single one of us of what we're going to do with that energy.
Welcome back to the Chronic Health Collective. So far, we tackled limiting beliefs. We tackled the bridge from fear to love, which is so important, which is, like you said, gratitude. Gratitude in our life is important. We should embrace more gratitude. But you touch a little bit about, I think what you call it is auto-suggestion. It's like flicking on that switch when, the shit hits the fan, and prevent yourself from spiraling. You shared a few stories where people change that, like everyone else is stuck somewhere, but they change that mindset. So how do people start building that muscle so they can start using that in daily life? Because like you said, you have to train that muscle. It doesn't just automatically switch on, right?
That's why they call it the work. You got to do the work. Simple, not easy, right? But if you want to have a great life, it's worth doing the work. And the best investment you can make is in yourself. Anybody would tell you that. And wildly successful people just keep reinvesting in themselves, and then their business just continues to make more money than they would have in the stock market. So investing in yourself is definitely the best investment that you could do. Auto-suggestion, I love. Auto-suggestion was actually in this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay, yes.
So Think and Grow Rich, I'm an expert in that book. And I was a contributing author in a 13-book series based on the 13 principles in that book. And one of the principles is auto-suggestion. And that's where I learned about it many years ago in the 90s. So all auto-suggestion is repetition. That's all it means. So if we repeatedly say and listen to not good enough, not worthy, can't do it, some people are mean and say stupid and all these different things, which just hurts my soul. I don't like that kind of negative talk. And when I see it happening with other people. And so then that's how you're programming the subconscious mind with regard to auto-suggestion, the repetition of hearing those negative things. To reprogram the subconscious mind using auto-suggestion, then you have to repeatedly, intentionally, all day, start saying things positive to yourself about yourself. Mirror work. I remember back in the 90s, I was like, oh my God, give me a break. I'm not looking in the mirror and saying these things, that's so crazy. That's silly. And it's one of the most powerful things that you could do, because the eyes really are the window to the soul, so it's you and you. It's you and you. It's you and your higher self. So as you're looking in the mirror, instead of saying, you know, I don't like my freckles, I don't like my nose, you know, like all these negative things, start to say, you're amazing. You know, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're, you know, like, or not you, I am.
Correct.
Yeah. You know, so you look in the mirror, I am, you know, I am so amazing. I am so, you know, whatever positive thing. And then after a while, you're rewiring, you know, the neurons that wire together, fire together, you know, that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're rewiring your subconscious mind, literally, to automatically auto suggestion, automatically go to the positive about yourself, because going back to self-image is how we see ourselves, and how we see ourselves will always determine how we feel about ourselves, which is self-confidence. So self-image will always determine self-confidence. And so if you're looking in the mirror and, you know, throughout the day, you have your mission statement and you're reading it and you feel good about yourself and there's no self-doubt, you know, and you're in gratitude that you're, you know, that you have these goals and you can go accomplish it, you know, and you have faith that you can, you have faith in yourself, you have faith in a higher power, you know, and that you can go do this, you're unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. So that's what autosuggestion is. It's just constant repetition all day, every day, until that tipping point, and then it just becomes naturally who you are. You know, not you go into that authenticity, that authentic person of who you truly are. You know, which to me, authenticity is everything. You know, and it's a shame that people are programmed to be what somebody else wants them to be. You know, if you want to get into that.
And you know, it's funny because like you're saying that, you know, auto suggestion takes work, right? You know, it's like building a muscle, you know, but everyone does it without knowing they're doing it. And I run into this problem in the health and wellness field all the time, because like if someone, you know, in the family had diabetes, well, here you are, you know, you don't have diabetes yet, but you're saying, well, my mom had it, my dad had it, I'm going to get diabetes, or I'm going to get cancer, or I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, or I'll never lose weight because my doctor says my hormones are off, right? Here you are, you're doing auto-suggestion, telling yourself this isn't going to happen. So people say, well, auto-suggestion is so hard. Well, you're doing it every day. Now it's a matter about, you know, flipping the script to use it for
the good,
helping you rather than dragging you down. So I love it, you know, but
we're manifesting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I tried the mirror exercise initially a few times, and it does feel silly. I have to admit, it does feel silly. It does take some getting used to. But, you know, like you said, I think it's really important because you are looking at yourself and you are just basically talking to your soul that this is who you want to be. And that is so important because it should be you deciding who you want to be, not someone else.
Correct. And a lot of times we're raised, you know, and we believe that we have to be the Erin that, you know, my parents want me to be, or that, you know, my friends want me to be, or my boss wants me to be. And then when I hit 25 with the cancer diagnosis, I was like, I am done with that, you know, and that's when I went really deep, really fast. You know, they said if the chemo didn't work as fast as the tumor was growing, I would have been dead in a month. And that's why I read all these personal development books. And I was like, why do I care what people think so much? You know, and trying to become all of what they want me to become, which is exhausting because you're not in alignment with you and what, you know, the two most important days in our lives are the day we're born and the day we find out why, you know, and it's so true. It's not like what somebody else wants us to be. When you try to figure out what it is, you know, what your God-given gifts, why you're here, and then go do that and monetize it, you know, because it's then you're just living, you know, your best life. But you're absolutely right. When you're, you know, when you're looking in the mirror and you're talking to your soul, you're talking to your higher self, you're manifesting. You're manifesting, you know, because like you said, also with the negative or the positive, you are manifesting all day, every day. People are like, I don't know how to manifest. Well, guess what? You're manifesting all day based on what you're thinking and you're speaking. Because whatever I tell my kids all the time also, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you're speaking about, you're bringing about. So you want to guard your words and your thoughts carefully, because what you're thinking and then what you're speaking, literally thoughts become things. you know, and there's a whole science. This is not just, you know, there's a whole science. I'm friends with a gentleman named Dr. Jeff Bannon, who put Dr. Joe Dispenza on the map. Dr. Jeff Bannon was Dr. Joe Dispenza's scientist for the first 10 years, you know, and he explained to me about hold a thought for 17 seconds, particles start to come. Instead of the waves, and the particles come, and then all of a sudden, like, thoughts do become things. And what is impressed in our subconscious mind has got to express itself in the outer world. It's law, like it does. So you want to be very careful about what you're thinking and what you're speaking, and know that you have the hidden power. You have the hidden power within you that creates worlds and everything else to go build any kind of a life that you want for yourself. So you want to tap into that hidden power and then, you know, utilize that for creation, because we're conscious creators.
I love that. I love that. You know, I think, you know, what you hit the nail right on its head there is, you know, we start in the very beginning that most of us are going on autopilot 95% of the times, you know, subconsciously. We don't know what's going on. So it is so important to first bring out the subconscious into the conscious, right? You know, because you have to know what the hell is driving you, and then figure out if that's what you want. Because I think that's what people don't get, is they don't know that's not what they want, and they think they can't do nothing about it, right? But you're telling, you know, it's so important. We're all put on this earth for a purpose, you know, and it's not to just follow someone else's lead. We're not worker bees. That's not our purpose, right? So, you know, I think that is so true. So I want to dive in a little bit, you know, because like I said, you know, it's funny because I always tell people coaches always hire coaches, right? And I want to find out, because I'm always curious myself, right? And, you know, I figured I was going to ask you, and I'm going to ask you on air. I'm going to put you on the spot. Why? Well, first of all, how did you get the nickname Coaches of Coaches? Because that is just very different, right? Because, you know, we have life coaches around the world, but why are you called Coaches of the Coaches? Can you share that story?
I love this. I love this so much because, like I said, I've been a global leading life coach and business strategist for over 30 years. And I've had clients around the world, you know, and in every country, and countries I've never even heard of. You know, I've been on the phone on Zoom calls with people, and even if they don't hire me, I'm all about the impression of increase, you know, leaving people better off for having spent a little bit of time with you, help them make their lives a little bit better. But I coached so many people that wanted to be coaches over the years, you know, and it was just part of my practice in addition to coaching, you know, everybody else. And then I realized, you know, I want to give everything that I know to people that are serious about becoming coaches, because you're light workers, you know, and if I can just pour into you everything that I know, and which is a lot, you know, from the experience that I have with regard to coaching and speaking, and, you know, because I have my virtual stages, the in-person stage, and all this other stuff in the business growth. And my network is incredible. I have an incredible network that I want to pour into coaches so that they can go, it's like a ripple effect, so that they can go out into the world and continue to pour more love and light into this world. So it makes me feel really good because, you know, I can only coach a certain amount of people, even with my digital self-study programs, you know, like, but when I can coach the coaches, and then, you know, have you then go out, you know, and spread the love and the light, it's the best. It's the best. And I love doing it. I love doing it. We have a great group.
And it's amazing because, you know, one of the things that I noticed, and I've been a coach for a while, and like I said, we can always improve on, you know, on everything. And I, you know, when I was talking to you and you were talking about this program, I said, hey, I think I'll be interested in learning a little bit more on that, you know. And what I really notice is you almost look into, you know, don't want to go woo-woo here, but you're almost looking into the soul of a person, and you see their potential before they see it, and you help bring that out. And it's amazing because, like, I met the other coaches as part of our group on Life on Track, and just from the first date that we met, and we had a couple of them on my other show, and oh my God, it's like their confidence, the way they talk about what they're doing, the mission, the vision, It's so clear to them now, as opposed to when I first met them. Well, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
they were nervous.
I can totally see, where you can help coaches become better coaches, right? So that is so amazing.
And I'm very selective also of who I work with. I don't
Sure.
just take on anybody and just coach anybody because they want to be a coach. I speak with them. We have a call, and because if they're just into it for the money, because they heard that coaches make a lot of money and it's not a good fit for me. It's not a good
Right.
fit, but I know I do look into the souls of people, and I see potential way faster than they do themselves. And then I have to hold them, hold their energy so that they don't talk the whole subconscious thing, right? The paradigm, talk themselves out of it, because I know they have so much to contribute, each in their own way in this world. And then it's a beautiful thing to watch them bloom and blossom into what I saw, and then to also see the confidence that they develop, and it feels good, and they're in alignment. So I love it. I love it. I just absolutely love it. Yeah.
That is so amazing. And like I said, I am so happy to be part of that group. But, we always like to ask our guests, our coaches, a quirky question just to get you outside of your bubble a little bit, outside your comfort zone. So I know you have this amazing network, and I met some of them. I met John Gray, and I met, I met so many speakers. Exactly. Mark Victor Hansen. Like these are dreams of mine, and I actually met them and spoke to them personally. So if you could sit down and have coffee with any successful person, and obviously this has to be a person you never met, and it could be past or present, and then download their mindset for an hour, who would it be and why?
Hands down, Shaki Gawain. Hands down, Shaki Gawain. Shaki was one of my original mentors. It was through her books when I had cancer in 1991 in the hospital bed, and she wrote a book called Creative Visualization, right? And she's the one I learned about visualizing and the power of it, and that's why I'm all about vision and decision. Huge. But Shaki Gawain made such an impact on my life, and nobody really talks about her. Nobody really has heard about Shaki Gawain. But when
I've never heard about her. Is she still around?
No, she passed away around 2018, and I never had the opportunity to shake her hand. So she is the person that I wish I had the opportunity out of everybody. There's Jim Rohn and and Dyer. There's a couple that I wish I had the opportunity to shake their hand, and I've shaken a lot of people's hands. that I know
exactly.
There's a couple that I wish that I didn't have the opportunity, but by far Shaki Gawain and all of the greats like Mark Victor Hansen gave her a testimonial for creative visualization. Like he good friends with her. Joe Vitale, I was on a call with him, and he was in the movie The Secret also. And he was very close to Shaki Gawain and helped her with his events when he was just getting started and stuff like that. Like they all loved John Gray. When I brought up, you heard him, when I brought up Shaki Gawain, they all loved Shaki Gawain, but hands down, yeah, it's her.
That's amazing, because I was thinking, I really want to hear her answer, because I know her network is pretty big and she's met a lot of people. So Erin, what's the best way for people to reach out to you, and what type of giveaway you would like to offer to our viewers today?
Sure. So I love this, and also I have coaches. I have a life coach. I have a business strategist. I have a health and wellness. Like you said, every coach every good coach has a coach, so, and I love that. So the giveaway is I have an assessment that is my Life on Track. I'm all about Life on Track, personally and professionally, right? So you want to have both of them in line. You don't want to be just doing really great professionally, but your personal life is suffering, and vice versa. Correct. So this assessment is so fun. It's like 10 of the top 10 areas in life, personally and professionally. And then you get to write down some goals, some short-term goals that you want to accomplish. And like I said, just have fun with this. Don't overthink it. Just like something you always want to do, just write it down. And then I'll have a call with you to go over the assessment, and it's digital.
Correct.
to go over the assessment. And they can go to lifeontrack.club/assessment. Because I did it while I was on Clubhouse years ago. lifeontrack.club/assessment. They can download it there, and there's a link to my Calendly. And I look forward to seeing what your goals are and then having that call with you to help you give you those next steps that you need to go make it happen.
I love it. I love you. Thank you for all the inspiration. And like I said, I'm still learning from you. I'm learning from the master, Erin. So
I love you so much.
Next week, we're thrilled. We're going to have Jackie Mott, another of our amazing coaches from the Chronic Health Collective. Join us here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. CST for more tips to up-level every aspect of your health, life, mindset, relationship, career, everything. And if you miss an episode, catch up anytime at watch.e360tv.com on the Vitality TV network, or check us out at youtube.com/@Chronic Health Collective. We'll see everyone next week. Goodbye now.
Bye. Thanks.